far as how I create, I try my best to do it how Aretha do it. Aretha Rodney, not Franklin.
Yeah.
I try my best to do it how Aretha do it. So in a way, I try not to try to make my sound like anybody else's.
When did our values started being determined by how many people choose to follow you? When did our worth divert to the double tapping of one's finger, leaving thoughts to linger? If enough people didn't tap twice, then maybe, just maybe, that photo wasn't post worthy. When did our identity and our reality become our enemy? See, I don't mean to offend, but in this era, we would rather live a life of pretend just to stay up to date with the recent trend. Again, when did our worth divert to one's opinion behind a device screen that results in us tampering with our genes? It seems we now live a life based off others' reaction. So self-love just fits a great caption. Our satisfaction now lies within the world wide web of lies, being deceived by what we see in front of our eyes, being displeased with our own lives because we're still clocking into a 9 to 5, as if a 9 to 5 make one less applicable to succeed and thrive. See, much has changed. And if you're not doing it like the world, you're considered a lame. At some point, the ultimate goal became a blue check beside one's name. Now, if you ask me, social media is what you make it. And it's filled with a lot of opportunities. It's filled with people coming together and building communities. But on the other end of it, it's filled with a lot of hypocrites, a lot of judges and jurors, a lot of counterfeits. So be sure in who you are or you will get lost.
So yeah, this is Dom Root, and I am here with Aretha Rodney. She is a spoken word artist, singer, musician, entrepreneur. I'm sure I left a couple things out, but we're gonna get into it during the interview and just learn, all about who she is and all that she's embodying when it comes to art and just making things happen. So how are you doing today?
Doing great. I'm doing good. I had a good day, so I'm doing good.
Nice, nice. So for you, what does a good day consist of, or what
A
would make a
good
good day?
day for me is consists of being able to create quietly because I
Hmm.
have two babies.
Okay.
So my son is in school and my daughter, she slept today.
Oh,
She slept
nice.
for a long time. So I had a lot of quiet today.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Well, until my husband picked up my son. But
Right.
I got to create today and just that's a good day for me. A
Okay.
day where I just get some peace of mind, I get some quiet and I get to create.
Right, right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you talk about creating. So what would you say was like the first, art form that you got into? Because you have a extensive resume in terms of things that you can do. But did you like start singing first, or were you into poetry first?
Oh, dancing.
Oh, nice. Okay. Nice.
Dancing. Yeah, I praise dance. This was before I even knew I could sing.
Okay.
My AirPod keep coming out. This is before I even knew I can sing. This is before I even knew I could write songs and do poetry and all that stuff. It
Right.
was
Okay.
dancing. Yeah, I
Nice.
praise dance. Yeah. I haven't danced in a long time. I actually went back the other night looking at videos like, you know what? I have to post this for my new followers that
Right.
don't know, but I actually danced like
Right.
in the church community and even in Jamaica. Like anytime anybody said, "Are you dancing? Are you dancing?" That was it for me. So
That's what's up.
I would have never guessed adventuring off into singing and poetry and all that. Yeah.
That's what's up. My family's from
But
Trelawney,
oh
Jamaica. So that's what's
yeah,
up. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
born and raised in Jamaica.
See, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Awesome, awesome,
yeah.
awesome. That's amazing. So yeah, dancing in the church, and then so was that something that you were like, yo, you saw, and you're like, hey, I want to get into that, or was it something like your family was like, you're gonna be dancing, get in the church, we need people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was just put on me. Like
Hmm.
I was young and then they were starting praise dance groups and it's like my nickname is Punky. All right, Punky,
Hmm.
come. So,
Hmm.
I just and I danced and I was good at it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just that's how it came about.
Okay. So tell me, because what I know of you, what we've discovered, from hashtags, finding your own poetry hashtags and stuff like that. When did poetry come into your life?
This came into my life, I would say over 10 years ago.
Okay.
I was at a church event, spoken word. Of course, I know poetry,
Hmm.
but spoken word poetry, I never really knew much about it. And
Okay.
I remember I was at this church event, and this one guy, his name is AJ Freeman. I tell him every chance I get, like, it was you that introduced me to this thing. And
Okay.
it was this other group called Yahweh. And I heard them and I was like, oh my God. I was just like blown away.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I went home. I have to post that video too.
Mm-hmm.
I tried. You should hear what it sounded like. Like that
Uh,
was me trying. It was horrible, you know?
yeah.
And then, as time went by, I started like, listening more and I stuck because at this point I write songs.
Okay.
So it wasn't hard trying to write the poem. It was just how to deliver it and how to
Got you.
find my own voice in the
Mm-hmm.
poetry, how to make it my own
Mm-hmm.
and to find my character in it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that was what the struggle was for me after I fell in love with it. It's
Okay.
just finding my identity in it. So
Mm.
yeah, I found it over 10 years ago. It's a long
Okay.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's amazing, and it definitely pours through, especially the personality portion of it. Because like doing poetry, even for myself, like finding that voice. Because like we watch so much Def Jam poetry, and you're like, oh, okay, and then even some
Right.
people, the slam poets, they may follow a certain cadence. And we joke in the community like you have that type of way that you spit it, that cookie cutter way, but it is amazing to
Yeah.
find your voice and that spunk and that little flavor that different people come
Yeah.
with because going out to open mics or just different events and watching people do their thing is really where you find a lot of that inspiration, and you're like, yo,
Yeah.
I like that, or
I
I don't
learned
like
so
that.
much. I learned so much from other people. I always take what I can. Always
Yeah.
take what I can. I go to open mics a lot here in Orlando and
Okay.
I learned so much from other people and I learned what to do, what not to do and
Yeah.
so it's still a learn as much as you've done it for a long time there's still always room to learn.
Okay, I like that a lot. So, you know, where that's leading me, I want to talk a little bit of where God and your faith and,
Yeah.
how that all plays into, what you do. I haven't really,
Yeah.
I know we have the Rooted Minds blog interview coming up, and I haven't
Yeah.
previewed that, or, at least coming with information, to this interview. So, yeah,
Yeah.
talk a little bit about like your faith and, how that
Okay.
plays into what you do.
So my faith is what keeps me going. When it comes to church, I was born in church, but I was a typical church girl. I only went to church because, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But as I got older, I started having a personal relationship with God for myself.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I speak about all the time is 2020 for me was, the pandemic hit. But for me, I could have lost my life in 2020 after I'd given birth to my daughter because I had COVID. I had it bad in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. I had to be on oxygen, so forth.
Oh, wow.
And for me, that moment was okay, God, this is me and you. I believe that God had placed me on this earth with a purpose, for a purpose. I mean, I literally have books filled with songs, poetry, all of this. And it's like, God, if you take me now, like, what happens to my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And I would never forget. I remember in the hospital room, I was like, God, I promise you, if you take me out of this thing, I will serve you wholeheartedly and I will go after the purpose that I believe that you have given to me. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you see me post these poems. I promise you, if I get one like, I'm all right because I feel like I'm in alignment with God's purpose for my life. So I'm
Okay.
at ease and I'm at peace with what I'm doing. And my faith is I'm not gonna come on here, preach to people, yell at them. You know how preachers talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it in the way that God created me to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's in my poem. So I
Mm-hmm.
have people writing me telling me thank you because I was at my breaking point. And
Mm-hmm.
your poem is what helped me. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe I'm walking in my faith in the purpose God has called me on this earth to do right now. And I'm excited to see where he takes me with it because I'm just humbled. I'm really just humbled because it's just me and him rocking this thing out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm just humbled and I'm letting him take the lead to wherever he takes me with this thing. But my faith is what keeps me going. It's
Absolutely.
what keeps me going. It's what keeps me rooted.
Rooted. Hey, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing, thank God that you are still
Yeah.
here and you are walking
Yeah.
in your purpose because I know that it will, continue to help other people, and it's great that you are
So
receiving that love back, people are letting you know that they
uh,
feel it because, poets and artists like ourselves, as we walk and, tell our stories, we may not have to be like the preacher type and, necessarily fishing to get people in,
yes.
but
Yes.
being who you are, just embodying that faith and just being happy and like people seeing that that happiness, they're gonna inquire like, yo, why is she so happy? Like, what is going on in her life? And when they
Yes,
ask,
yes.
you get that story. Like, for us, I started doing our events, and when I got here to Arizona in 2010 for college, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was into poetry. I saw some people doing it, but like being from LA, it's a busy city, so I'm always having dreams and like I want to do things. So like I just found some people that were about that life. We started renting out spaces and using the venues and doing it. And people were like coming, super young, didn't really know what I was doing. But they would ask like, what's this vision that you have, man? You seem like you have this all
Right,
planned out. And I'm
right.
like, honestly, man, I don't know. Like, I just pray about it, and if
Yeah.
God tells me to move on something, I move on it, and I ask, for his guidance, and I reach out to my friends and I see who's, willing to pull up. And that's how it all originally started. Just a dream and just kind of following the path that was, laid for me, honestly, and just feel like walking in my purpose. So I definitely connect, with you on that level, and, just moving in that way, because there are times where our events didn't go so well, and I'm like, see, I definitely understand that I'm not in control, because I do the same thing over and over again and I don't get the same result, so so you just follow and you move. When things are for you, they're for you. When they're not, and you get to learn from them. So sorry, I'm a rambler. I didn't mean to,
You're good.
do
You're
all that.
good. You're good.
So yes, let's talk about the music that you're making as well. So when it comes to, I seen a couple of videos with you on guitar. Also seen a
Yeah.
really creative video that you posted. I think it was like a reel where it was like meeting all of your squad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Good job. Good job. Like
Yeah,
there's
thank
a lot of
you.
content out there, but that had me cracking up. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
like, yo, that's real life who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, seriously, like it really sometimes be a one man band. Like, you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
But gotta do whatever shoe you gotta put on to make it work.
To
Gotta
make
do
it
what you gotta
happen.
do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely connect with
Yeah.
that post. Like, you had the security too rolling in. That was just like humor,
Listen,
real.
my Paw Patrol gun, like, listen, I'm ready.
Ready for sure, for sure, for sure. So yeah, yeah. With the music and stuff that you're making, where do you find some of your inspiration? Who are some musical influences, either growing up or today, that you just find, help you lock in and find the passion to create?
As like we talk about my faith all the time. So the genre that I stick to the most is gospel.
Hmm.
So there's a lot, and then because of my background being Jamaican, so reggae plays a lot of
Hmm.
part too in the things that I do. And honestly, my accent, it doesn't go nowhere. So sometimes when I'm singing, you know what I'm saying, you'll hear the accent. So
Hmm.
my but honestly, growing up, as far as like musical people, Christian wise, Donnie McClurkin.
Hmm.
Right now there's a group called Maverick City. I
Maverick
listen to
City.
them a lot. Yeah, I
Hmm.
listen to them a lot. I listen to a lot of upcoming gospel artists as well. Because
Hmm.
honestly, there's so much creatives out there. And I try not to stick too much in traditional
Okay.
gospel with you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I try to listen to different genres of gospel.
Hmm.
And so we have Tasha. I have a lot. Tasha Cobbs. I love
Hmm.
her.
Okay.
These are people that sometimes when I'm feeling down, I just put the music on and it gets my spirit up. It gets me feeling good. It gets me in a
Hmm.
place of, all right, God, let me just surrender how I'm feeling to you right now so I could get back into the space where I need to be. So,
Right.
those are just a couple. If I go to the reggae, I'm an old head type of reggae listener. So,
Okay.
nothing wrong with the new school, but it's not my vibe. So the old school, like, the Barris and even Bob Marley and,
Hmm.
those people just get me into the mood just to rock and just, you know what I'm
Got you.
saying?
Yep.
Sometimes
Hmm.
just takes my mind off of certain things. But as far as how I create, I try my best to do it how Aretha do it. Aretha Rodney, not
Hmm.
Franklin.
Yeah.
I try my best to do it how Aretha do it. So in a way, I try not to try to make my sound like anybody else's,
Hmm.
because I strive to be unique. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So I try my best to make my music stand out. Like when you hear it, oh, that sounds like Aretha. Okay, that's
Hmm.
Aretha. Not, oh, that sounds like such and such, but no, that's Aretha. I want my music to be like, I want my music to identify who I am.
Okay, no, absolutely, and I can connect with that. In terms of like when you're writing and you're in like the creative mode, are you looking to create through the lens? So say you're writing a love song, are you writing through the lens of like love and its like connection to like your faith as well? So is it
Yeah.
like
Okay.
so you Okay. Or even if it's not love, it could be like you going about your life and you may be writing a song about staying positive um or overcoming battles. Do you feel any pressure when it comes to like being in the genre to have to connect it in some way to faith or good? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Because I have some posts that I posted where I don't talk about God.
Hmm.
And as a matter of fact, I have a post that I'm actually getting ready to record that I'm going to post tomorrow, and it's not talking about God. The thing about it is, I want to be very realistic as I can in everything that I do. It's a few songs that I do, and it's not worship song, or it's not. It's literally an inspirational song, but it doesn't mean it's literally saying, "Oh, worship God" or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it's just encouraging, because the thing about me is I really don't want to be put in a box. I mean,
Hmm.
literally at all. You can expect to get positivity. There will
Hmm.
not be anything negative. I'll never give a negative message. It will
Hmm.
all be positive, but it doesn't have to be linked to faith. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because for me, I don't want to be literally stuck in a genre of all she do is gospel, because that's not the case. But
Hmm.
you're not gonna hear me doing nothing dancehall either. You get what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Like, I want to be able to reach. I want to be able to reach people that don't even believe in God, and then slowly wheel them in. All right, I
Hmm.
got you on that post. Now this is gonna be a post, because I do that. Some of the songs that I sing is inspirational that doesn't have gospel, and then the
Hmm.
next week I'll do a gospel song, and then the
Right.
next week, you get what I'm saying? So I even it out, I balance it out, because I really want to be able to touch different people. I want to be able to touch people that don't have a faith, and then
Right.
slowly just wind them in. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But
No.
a lot of
Yeah.
my stuff is not strictly connected to faith.
Okay, no, and I understand that. A couple of artists that I work here that identify as gospel artists, I know that's been a battle for them, just like kind of how people in the social space are view them for doing things that may not
Yeah.
be that. They receive a lot of pressure and are reluctant to release certain things. And even myself with like
Yeah.
some of my poetry, and I do some rapping and songwriting, and my primary thing is producing and audio engineering, so I like to mix, master, and behind the scenes more so. But I do enjoy writing songs and putting things out. And when I was in high school, it was my influences were Ludacris, Lil Wayne, and my the things that I wrote and rapped about were connected to those influences, in terms of language. But as I became an adult and, realized, yo, I want to do this for real, which meant my grandmother, my mother, the people that I love and respect have to hear this, So I started to kind of run into this space of, all right, what areas am I walking in? Because I am greatly tied to my faith, and it's, moved me and like the things that I do. So with poetry, I always, like when I'm writing, it always comes to that. Like I'm just writing, I'm not trying to or nothing, and I'm just talking about
Yeah.
God. It just comes
Yeah.
up, So
Yeah.
just finding that balance of like not trying to be preachy, but just also like doing the thing that I feel called to do, in the moment. So.
Mhm. I get that. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's talk a little bit about maybe some stuff that you have upcoming or that you are working towards or that you could receive some prayers or, good vibes, for anything upcoming or things that you're working towards.
As of right now, I'm literally thinking, yes, I actually have this young lady that I met on Instagram. Shout out to social media,
Hmm.
honestly, because social media really is a like with the poem that I did.
Right.
Like, social media really, it is a platform, and it really is filled with opportunities. So I met this young lady on Instagram. She's a poet as well, and she's having a not CD, a launch. She's
Okay.
having a launch. I was about to say a CD
Nice.
launch. Oh God, she's having a launch for her album, an album launch,
Okay.
and she asked me to be one of the poets on the event, the night of her launch. So I'm excited for that. I'm literally trying to think what else I have coming up. Honestly, right now I'm just focused on creating, and
Hmm.
I'm trying. One thing I try my best not to do is become inconsistent, you know? So I'm trying my best to just keep on going, keep on going. It won't be every day, but I'll make sure that
Absolutely.
even if it's once a week,
Hmm.
something is being put out there, you know? So for
Right.
me, I can't really. Oh, and I have a bonfire event coming up. I'm excited about that. I've never done a bonfire before,
Oh, nice.
but
Okay.
it's yeah, yeah. It's gonna be filled with different artists,
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm excited about that. It's gonna be September 17th. Yeah.
You know, in your area, and definitely get them out to that. Your poem for that this contest was about social media. So a little bit about social media. What is your feelings about social media? I know some people always feel like every so often they need to get up off of there, and
Definitely. As a matter of fact, for me, I had a personal page where I'll post like my family and just me being funny. Like my art page is literally just for my art.
Okay.
But I just disabled my personal page because social media can be really, really distracting, really distracting. Whereas I want to create, but I'm on social media scrolling, scrolling,
Scrolling.
scrolling.
Yep.
So for me, I disabled that page. So for my art page, because my art page is really for my art, I don't really do much up there. But for me, like I told you before, like social media is filled with opportunities. But man, you can definitely get lost in it.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
true.
why when I wrote that poem, I was just like, it's the honest truth. You got people living lives that, oh my God, if you would have heard the the unedited version of that poem. Like I tried to, oh my God. At one point I was like, okay, whoa. I started because there's this comment, like, people caption, oh, catch flights, not feelings.
Right.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? I was like, well, you're about to catch an eviction notice where you no longer have a ceiling. I'm telling you, I was because it was just a case of you have people literally trying to keep up with the next. You know what I'm saying? And you really would just do things just to flex on social media, and you really can get lost in that world. So for
Absolutely.
me, I do take a break. I do take a break because then self-esteem start coming in. But dang, I wish I could do it like that.
Right.
I wish I had that much followers. What makes her so different from me? I'm doing the same thing. Comparison, it do kill. If it
Yeah.
don't kill you physically, it'll kill you mentally.
Yeah.
Like people really have to be strong to be on social media because you got cyberbullying. You have so much going on in the social media world. And again, you can lose yourself in that thing. You really can. And then, like I said, on the other end of it, it's really filled with opportunities. People's lives are changed.
Right.
It takes a viral post that could change their life. You get what I'm saying? It's just up and down with social media.
Yeah.
It's what you make it. It's what
Right.
you make it. For me, right now, I'm using social media as the platform to get my work out there, to get
Yeah.
my work out there.
Yeah.
So it's what you make it.
Right, and I feel like you saying that it's what you make it is a really powerful thing because honestly, it has the capacity to turn someone from broke to a millionaire. So
Yes.
and it definitely has
Yes.
the ability to also to make someone contemplate suicide. So you get the good, you get the bad, and even some places like some organizations, church institutions, nonprofit institutions are trying to learn how to use that to their advantage. There's still like a big learning
Yes.
curve
Yes.
for
Yes.
places to
Yeah.
exist on that space
Mm.
and to really attract and connect with people. Because at first it was something they viewed as like negative because you can get in the
The
comments and
pandemic kind of drove them to that though, because
yeah, very
the
true.
world was shut down. So it was like social media, okay. Because I know a pastor, he didn't know anything about it. So now he's like, okay, I gotta get on Facebook, I gotta get on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So the
Exactly.
pandemic actually drove a lot of them to
Yeah.
doing that.
So many
Yeah.
live streams and just like figuring that part out and
Yeah.
it's honestly it's good for them to like learn that that skill set honestly going forward
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
we ease out of the pandemic or pray to ease out of the pandemic. That's going to be a tool that they can continue to use and make
Yeah.
accessible for folks that want to stay connected to service and
Yeah.
and everything of that nature. So yeah, we are hitting the 20-minute mark here, so I do want to let you go. I definitely thank you for your time. If you can, drop your IG and your social. I have your YouTube channel up here, so I believe it's just Aretha Rodney. So if they search YouTube Aretha Rodney, they can find you. But what about Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, anywhere else?
Instagram is Aretha Rodney Artistry, and Twitter is Aretha Rodney, but I still haven't really. I don't understand Twitter yet. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna get on there.
Okay.
But Instagram Aretha Rodney Artistry, TikTok Aretha Rodney, like you said, YouTube Aretha Rodney, Facebook is actually Aretha Rodney Live. I'm gonna switch that to just Aretha Rodney.
Okay.
But once you type Aretha Rodney,
Mm.
it will
You
something
said
pertaining to
you
me will
dominating
come
all
up.
the search engines right now. Okay, okay, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Keep it up. Keep it going. Keep it going. Well, I definitely appreciate you. Thank you
Thank
for taking the
you.
time out today.
No,
And yeah, we'll be
having
looking
me.
forward to yeah. No, oh, of course, yeah. We'll be looking forward to that Rooted Minds blog write up that we have coming soon.